Gonna jump in now. I'm going to share my screen and we'll go through the prezo. I see some people so I did this training probably like almost 3 years ago, and I haven't done it since. But we did get a good turnout, and so Heather asked me to come back and share an updated, refreshed version, including some of the things that I've learned and incorporated into my business with the clients that I work with. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Kat. I obviously created Be Epic Marketing, which several of you are our clients. But I also have a consulting business where I work more hands-on with individual clients. And that's a lot more of like me coming in and running all of their marketing, basically acting like their in-house marketing team. So I have some gals on my team that help me with that. But I've been doing this for about 16 years, and social media is really where I started my marketing journey. It's what kind of drew me into the marketing world. I have a degree in journalism, and so I graduated college with all the best intentions of becoming a journalist, and then quickly realized that maybe I wanted to transition into a different field. Journalism was, at the time, everyone was telling me, journalism is dead. Go do something else if you want to make money with your degree. And so I sort of fell into marketing because of my copywriting background, and just really fell in love with the psychology behind it, as well as the impact that you can have in people's businesses and lives. And I just really gravitated towards real estate, obviously because I worked at Buffini and Company and I met a lot of realtors, but just the work that you guys do and being able to help realtors share their business and how they operate with their clients was something that I just really have enjoyed being a part of. So yeah, I've been doing that for like 15-ish years, and video has become more and more a part of the strategy that me and my clients implement because it is so powerful. So, I do believe that video is the way to go if you are looking to have a significant digital presence in 2026 on social media. Again, this is going to be tailored more towards Instagram Reels in this conversation, but we will talk about how you can leverage your Reels across other channels as well. But why? Why do I love video so much? Especially in this AI era where now people are like creating fake generated videos. I've had people tell me like, well, should I just go into AI and create a fake AI version of myself? I know there's a lot of different opinions on this. I'm going to say no. I'm just going to come out and say no. I don't like that. I think it's creepy. I think that, when we're talking about the trust filter, like in a world of AI generated content, when there's so much fake stuff being thrown out there, that human presence is still the ultimate differentiator. And I don't think AI is there yet where, I think people can tell. I can tell when someone posts an AI video or an AI photo of themselves. So I'm going to say by showing up as your authentic self, you are going to see better results. Another reason why I love video is attention span. The reality is that people are, doom scrolling on social media all the time. Video, the movement that's created with video, being able to do clever text overlay that's going to grab someone's attention, that is going to help you get more engagement on social media than just posting a photo of yourself. That's just the reality. People, 71% of users prefer videos under 60 seconds for learning about products, services. So I do think you should have some video as a part of your strategy. Sorry, people keep joining, and so I have to keep stopping and letting them in. And then as far as AI, like I don't think AI is the enemy. I think it's an ally, just not a replacement for you as an individual. So I like to use AI for like the boring work, as we call it. So editing, transcripts, and improving the quality of the videos that I'm creating so that I can do the human work, which is the connection, like showing up as myself, making a connection on social media through video. And so, I really think that if you are going to take social media serious and you're going to do more than just kind of like post and go, set and forget, then you should have some sort of video component to your social media strategy. 73% of homeowners say they are more likely to list with an agent who uses video. So I think that's an important statistic. Also, social media generates 1,200% more shares compared with images and text combined. Again, just speaking to the fact that it is, there's more engagement around video, and then marketing campaigns that include video show 34% higher conversion rates. So again, just some stats kind of showcasing the importance of video marketing as part of your social media strategy. And so the big picture here is that I believe video builds trust and increases your relatability, which are two things that we're always trying to do in our marketing. And if you are a Brian Buffini follower, you know that he always talks about answering these two questions in the minds of your client. So, do I like you? Are you good at what you do? I think video helps answer these two questions in the minds of your clients, helps you create deeper connections. It's a really quick way to showcase both your character and your competence. Okay, so before we move on, I do want to talk a little bit about SEO and how video can help your SEO strategy. I could do an entire webinar topic just on this, so we're not going to get too deep on this, but I just kind of want to scratch the surface a little bit. So audiences obviously love video. We talked about that, but Google loves them as well, especially YouTube videos. So I do recommend if you are spending time to create reels for Instagram, that you repurpose those reels, you share them as shorts on YouTube. We do that for my clients, and I've actually been like searching, doing research on Google, like, you know, market update in Prescott, Arizona, because I have a client in Prescott where I live. And while I'm searching for stats to include in like a newsletter or blog for her, I've actually seen her video pop up from YouTube because of this SEO component, and we're using keywords that then pull up in search. So I do think it's worthwhile, if you are going to spend the time creating these videos, that you have a YouTube component where you can kind of repurpose them there. And then if you are trying to rank certain pages on your website, if you embed video into those pages, you can multiply your chances of ranking higher in search results. We do that a lot through our blogs. We'll post a blog, we'll embed a video that goes along with it. That's a great way to show up both in ChatGPT when someone's like searching for, say it's like a market update in your area. Again, I've had clients where we create blog posts, we use those keywords, we have videos, it pulls in chat when we're looking, when we're typing in certain prompts. So if you are trying to boost your rankings, video can help. On Instagram specifically, you want to make sure you're doing geotagging, so you're tagging your location. That's going to signal to Google where you are in the world and your authority. Dwell time is another big piece. So high engagement on Reels that basically keep users on your profile is going to signal relevance to search engines. And then if you have a Google business profile, which you all should have, cross-posting your Reels there can improve your map pack ranking. So that basically is like the top 3 organic rankings that show up when someone's searching for a real estate agent in Salt Lake City. You're going to have a lot of sponsored options that people are paying to be there, but there's going to be a top 3 that are organically ranking. And a part of that is keeping your Google business profile updated, and you can share your videos there as a way to keep content updated there. And then you also want to use keywords in your captions if you are trying to use video to boost your rankings. Treat your reel captions like a little mini blog post. Use your neighborhood names, real estate agent in Scottsdale or wherever your market is. That's just going to help if someone's searching on Instagram. Your reel has a better chance of pulling. So video is great. I think it's magical, but you still need to use videos that are going to work for your strategy. Like several of you at the beginning of this call came on and said, I feel like I don't have a problem showing up on video, but it's just not hitting. It's falling flat. And I'm spending time on something that's just not generating any sort of engagement or awareness. So let's talk about content and the type of videos that are performing well in 2026, because things have changed over the last few years. So 73% of people on Instagram, they want to see entertaining videos. Let me see if I can mute. I think I got it. But that doesn't necessarily mean, oops, let me go back, sorry. Entertaining doesn't mean you have to be funny, is what I'm trying to get at. So when I see entertaining stuff, or like I see people that are like comedians on social media, and if you have that personality, more power to you. I think if you can make your videos more entertaining, and that's sort of naturally how you communicate, and that's how you would communicate with your clients, go for it. But for me, I am not someone who little head. Sorry, I gotta mute someone. But there are things you can do that will make your videos entertaining without you necessarily having to be funny, I guess is where I'm trying to go with this. So these are the types of videos that I'm seeing work really well for my clients right now. The first one is like a neighborhood guide. So this is what we call like being the mayor of your hometown, taking people out and about, showing them the local vibe and the things that you love about where you live. So it could be coffee shops, it could be parks, it could be events going on, it could be a local small business that you want to spotlight, really giving people the vibe of why they should want to move there, what's special about your area. That can really be great for attracting people in your marketplace to follow you on your accounts and engage with you because you're sharing things that would be interesting to someone who lives in that marketplace. It could be a new restaurant popping up, etc. So those videos do really well, and the best part of those videos is you don't have to spend a ton of time on camera talking. A lot of times you can just simply show the business, show some of the highlights, use a lot of B-roll footage and text overlay to accomplish these videos where you're not actually having to show up on camera and speak.
And sent me photos of everything going back
All right, sorry.
to prior to 2004.
I don't know who's on here real quick.
So yeah, it's if it was a current valuation, then yeah, I'd be glad to share everything with you.
All right, if you're not muted, can you mute yourself? Because I can't see you with my
I don't need current stuff, is the thing.
Okay, so you're not going into the house.
All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna do one thing. I do need to, and I can take some pictures.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm trying to find out who's on.
I'm not gonna measure the house because I've got the
If you're not on mute, can you mute yourself?
Yeah, I think it's TJ Nelson.
I can't see all my presentation up. Okay, here we go. Do we get it?
Yep, you got it.
Okay. All right, sorry about that, guys. Anyways, back to what types of videos work. So neighborhood guide, we talked about that. There's also this myth versus reality type of video, and this works because it is great for kind of doing something a little bit more controversial. And how this works is essentially you're going to debunk some sort, like a rapid fire quick video debunking a current market headline that maybe someone believes something about the market or about real estate, and you're going to kind of swoop in with your experience and show what the reality is. So this is really good at sharing like your specific point of view, which I think makes videos more engaging. And we'll talk about some examples of what that looks like. You can also do the raw walkthrough. I know a lot of people spend money on doing like just listed videos, and that's great. This is a little bit different, and I'll show you an example of what it looks like, but this is kind of more of a your point of view, quick home tour, showcasing the highlights of the home, and you are in that specific video. You can also do video testimonials. If you can get your clients to get on camera, I've seen a lot of people do creative things with video testimonials. Showing them popping a bottle of champagne in front of their new house, or having them hand over the keys, and then all of a sudden they're, confetti is flying everywhere. So there's like all kinds of different like fun creative ways to do client testimonials, as well as just having them on camera sharing their experience with you. I do think educational videos can still work as long as they're done in a specific way, which is like one problem, one fix. So you address one specific problem. Maybe it's a question you're getting a lot from your clients, and then you offer the fix for that problem. I think where these kind of fall flat is when you try to share too much information in one video, because we are trying to keep these short. And then probably the most popular trending videos that are going to get the most engagement right now on Instagram specifically are these B-roll videos. So I'll show you kind of how that works, but essentially you're just doing B-roll video. You're not even speaking in it. It's just you walking down the street, you fluffing a pillow, you whatever, doing some kind of thing in a home or outside a home or in your hometown. And the magic here is putting caption overlay and using trending audio. Also, jumping on some of the trends that are going on social media. So these are two examples of that. You probably saw, I think it was, I don't know, like a month ago when everyone was doing like, what was I like back in the 90s? And they were doing like the pictures of, how they looked in the 90s. Well, of course, real estate agents jumped on board and created a version of that. So this girl in Arizona did like, what were home prices like in the 90s? And then she just kind of did a comparison of all the different markets, Scottsdale, Mesa, Tempe, whatever. And then she had the home prices from the 90s versus now. And, she got a ton of engagement on it just because people were looking at how crazy things have appreciated over the last couple decades. And then this guy, again, he's just sitting at a restaurant on his phone. He's not talking. He's not doing anything that crazy. Someone's filming him. And then he just kind of overlaid this text with some trending audio and got, 12,000 likes, went viral. So there's a lot of things you can do that are simple that fall in line with this B-roll that a lot of people that tends to be the content I feel like that gets the most engagement right now on social media. So I like to do a little bit of a balance of all of this when I'm working with my clients. I think it's important to showcase your listings. Some people say, oh, people don't care about listings in videos, and so I shouldn't be sharing them. I disagree. I think people do care about seeing the work that you do, and who doesn't love beautiful homes? So I think if you position it in a creative way and do a good job showcasing your property, I think people will engage with those videos and do like to watch them. I know that I watch them, and my clients do get pretty good engagement from our listing videos. Again, an example of like an educational kind of B-roll style video. She's just got B-roll footage of her, audio, and then she's got some text talking about the 4 advantages to buying a home in this market. Got 50,000 views on that video. And then we've got over on the right-hand side an example of behind the scenes. So this is where you can kind of do, again, you can utilize video of like B-roll video, or you can be talking, what we call talking head videos. But this one's just showing what it's like to be a realtor. So behind every just sold, there's 573 text messages, 150 phone calls, 310 emails showing how this lady shows up for her clients. Myth versus reality. This is an example of how you can address a myth in real estate, which would be that you need to fix everything before you list your home. So this realtor is talking about her honest take after 300 plus sales of what to fix and what to leave. Again, kind of addressing a myth and sharing her perspective on that topic. Testimonials, we've talked about local. I feel like you guys understand like the local angle. It's just about going out and getting that content filmed. And then the problem versus fix. This girl did a video on how to lower your property taxes. So a lot of people's property taxes went up. So how do you protest that for free yourself? One problem, one fix. She's offering advice to her clients on. So with that, I do want to talk a little bit about listings because I feel like there's so much you can do with listing marketing, and so I've pulled some examples that I think we can watch to give you guys a taste that are kind of show the spectrum. So these first 2 videos are going to be a lot more highly produced. You can tell that they've spent a lot of money hiring someone to film these videos. But this last one is not. This one is going to be more DIY. They both have got amazing results. So I thought it'd be fun to just kind of watch these different approaches that you can take with your listing marketing to give you guys some ideas. But hopefully this will work. Let me know if you guys can see it. Come off mute and tell me if you can't. It's just going to take a minute probably to.
Home at 1700 Wisconsin Avenue. For many years, I've been more than a place to live. I've been a place where life unfolded, and a place that people called home. Now, a new chapter is about to begin here. Soon, new owners may be walking through my door. Before they do, let me share a few of the moments that shaped me. I remember the first footsteps at my door. That was the beginning. And for 25 years, life filled these rooms. I've seen quiet mornings, long conversations, full hearts. I've been filled with warmth, with meals, with laughter. These walls remember. I've watched days begin and dreams drift asleep. Watched roots take hold and branches reach higher. Time passed, but love remained. I've loved every chapter I've known, and now I'm ready for the next.
If 1700 Wisconsin feels like it could hold your next chapter, I'm Faith with the Barrett team, and I would love to help you write it.
Okay, so I like that video because one, it's just different than anything I've really ever seen before. I liked how they used like AI to create movement in the pictures. I also loved that they did it from like the homeowner's perspective, sharing like a bit of the history and what makes that home special to someone who's lived there. So it just kind of caught my attention as something like a little bit unique that I haven't seen a lot of people do. So I just wanted to share that example. Now, this next example, I mean, a lot of you guys probably know Paige. She's a realtor in Utah. She spends a lot of money producing her videos. She definitely takes a more comedic approach. So it's very different than the previous video that we watched, but also just a different way, a different spin on a listing video. So we'll watch hers real quick.
Mile, is this really necessary? Don't be soft, Mia. We gotta put ourselves in the shoes of our perfect avatar buyer for this new listing. Somebody who wants access to trails right from their backyard, beautiful views, a nice, well-priced listing in the 600s, finished basements, and a nice, big, private backyard. I think that's what we're going for here. Okay, I get it, but I think you're taking this a little too seriously. When could I get a coffee break? Coffees are closers, Mia. Shut up and keep running. We might even find a buyer out here. All right, whatever. Go, you just show them the house. Ah, thank God.
Okay, we don't have to watch the whole video, but she just kind of goes into showing the highlights of the home after that part, after that like little intro that draws you in. So again, just super creative, high production value. Obviously, that's not going to be for everyone, but just trying to show you the range of what you could do with your videos. And then this last one is just filmed with an iPhone, and I think might have the most well, it's close, but might have the most engagement out of all of these. And it is so, so simple. So also wanted to share what you could accomplish with just your iPhone, doing that kind of raw walkthrough that we talked about. Gotta take her off.
$185,000 gets you in St. Pete, Florida.
Someday, we'll dream about day. Look the way.
This is what $285,000 gets you in.
So again, super simple video. She's obviously filming this with her iPhone. She's literally just taking it, panning it very slowly with different zooms, which we'll talk about on her phone to accomplish this video. And it's probably only like 10 seconds or less. So, and she only has to say like one sentence, which is the best part, right? Like she doesn't have to be on camera saying a lot about the home, and it still did incredibly well. So these are just 3 different examples of how you can promote your listings. Obviously, there are so many options out there, but just wanted to show you examples of videos that are getting traction on Instagram that are about promoting someone's properties. Okay, so now I want to talk to you guys about how we can improve the quality of your videos, because part of getting engagement is creating videos that, you know, people want to see and want to interact with. And there are strategic things that you can do that are super simple that will dramatically improve the quality of your video. And the first one is like so simple, it's your camera settings. So if you have not set your camera settings to these right here, and you have the time to do it right now, I would just go in and set them right now. But literally you can go into your camera settings. You always want to shoot vertical. We've talked, you know, we've probably all know that by now, but I'm just putting it on here in case you don't know that. So always make sure when you're shooting your reels to shoot them vertical. In your camera settings, if you're going to be the one filming, you want to make sure you're recording at 4K at 30 frames per second for the best quality. You can do 1080 HD at 60 frames per second. However, so like that's going to be a smaller file. I find that 4K works best. So that's what I use, and I would recommend setting it at. You are going to get bigger sized videos, so your storage on your phone might start to fill up pretty quickly. But if you are really trying to improve the quality, I would stick to 4K at 30 FPS. You also want to go to your settings and turn HDR off. HDR can create like some weird, harsh, washed out lighting. So if that is not turned off, it's going to give your videos a little bit more of a cinematic look, which, you know, most people, that's not what they're really going for. So I always turn that off, although that is kind of a personal preference. I also want to turn on enhanced stabilization. So make sure you turn that on. If you are someone who shakes a little bit when you're holding your phone and talking or filming, this is going to help balance out the footage a little bit. And then you also want to turn on lock camera, which is going to prevent your zoom from changing if you're moving around and filming. And then the last piece is to always upload at the highest and best quality. And so that is a setting that you will need to turn on in your Instagram app. And so if you are uploading directly to Instagram, you want to go in under your settings and find media quality, toggle over to that settings section, and then you should be able to see this upload at highest quality, and then make sure you turn that on. So that's just going to help ensure that your videos are clean and crisp and optimized for Instagram. And so with lighting and lens, this is something I've been playing around a lot with lately because I do think it makes a big impact Lighting, I don't get too in the weeds with. I think unless you're a professional photographer, videographer, and you really know how to create natural light using lighting kits and things like that, I would try to stay away from doing that if you're just a novice Instagram marketer. I would say just really lean into natural light and making sure that wherever you're filming, you have nice, even natural light. It also helps to film in the afternoons. If you do try to film midday, a lot of times you'll get that harsh light shining down on you, especially if you're outside. So I always try to aim for afternoon filming, like around the 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, because you're going to have nice, soft light. And then when it comes to zooms, like you have the option to zoom in and out when you're, filming video on your phone. And the three most common settings are this 0.5, 1x, 2x. And so there's different purposes for each one of these. Your 0.5 is going to be an ultra wide angle. And so I like to use these if I'm doing like a home tour shot and I want to get more of the living room. I want to get more of the front of the home. I want to get more of the yard. If you really want to showcase more of the actual property by zooming out and taking this wide angle, you're going to get more in the frame. And so it's really good for if you're trying to film like a wide open room and show that it's this nice wide open room. This is going to help you achieve that. Now, if you're just doing kind of like your talking head video and you want something that's a little bit more versatile, you can just keep it on the 1x. That's going to be best for your general filming. Also, I know a tip that a lot of people talk about doing is instead of using the front camera, flipping around using the back camera when you are doing those talking head videos can kind of soften the look and create a better aesthetic. The only challenge with that is if you are using like a teleprompter app, you won't be able to read it because your camera will be flipped around. But something to consider if you want to experiment with sort of this different zooms and how it's going to look with your videos. And then the 2x, the really up close, that's going to be good for like your aesthetic detailed shots. So a lot of people that are doing like B-roll and you want to like showcase like a little nook in a home, or you want to showcase like detailed aspects of the property. So like a nicely, I don't know, decorated coffee table or the kitchen countertops or some of the hardware, like or the lighting, like if you're trying to do those like B-roll up close, kind of warm, cozy vibe shots, zooming into 2x is going to help with that. So if I'm doing, for example, a home tour style video like that girl did, the one that was literally 10 seconds long, you could tell she did a mix of all of these. So when she first came on, she was in 1x, she was just talking. Then she switched it up and she did some wider shots where you could see like the yard, the house. She also did some zoomed in detailed shots of like the bedroom, the end table, like things like that. And it just created more visual interest in her overall video by experimenting with these different zooms on and angles on the phone. So where are we at with time? Okay, we're halfway through. I'm gonna try to power through the rest of this so we can get to questions. So if you are someone that wants to invest in some tools, I don't think you need a lot. I really don't. And I think if you try to, buy too many things to improve the quality of your video, it just becomes harder and harder to film. And who wants to lug all this crap around? Let's be honest. So, the things that I use, I don't typically use like a big bulky teleprompter like this unless I'm filming with someone who we're doing like a training program or something like that where we're filming big, long videos. But I do use the teleprompter app for talking head videos. It just makes it easier to get your videos done in one take, especially if you're the type of person who you get on camera and you kind of freeze up a little bit and you feel like things just don't flow very smoothly. A teleprompter app can help with that. I always like to have a tripod in hand if I'm filming by myself. I also use like one of those it's like a little sticky kind of tripod that I stick on a window or I can stick on a glass door. And that's just a nice little tool to use. I don't use a lot of lighting, like I mentioned. I try to keep it natural light, but I will always have like an LED light with me in case we are filming somewhere where it just looks terrible and we absolutely need to add an additional light. I do play around with some wireless mics. I don't always use them, but if you are someone who wants to do the style of video where it's like, maybe you're doing B-roll and then you're recording audio separately and overlaying that audio onto your video, then having these little wireless mics are good. Also, if it's a little loud in the background, if there's like a trash truck going by or a dog barking or something, like these little wireless mics can help muffle some of that out and just create a clearer, crisp audio. So those are kind of the basics of what I have. I know there's a lot more that you could bring along to film, but I like to keep my setup pretty simple because if it's not simple, I won't do it. And then as far as AI tools that I personally use, these are the ones I probably use the most. So I've been playing around with this Opus Clip a lot more lately, and this is a cool software. I believe you have to pay for it, so that's not cool. But what I like about it is if you are someone who's filming like longer videos, or say you pay someone to film some content for you. So you're going to do like a higher production video, you're going to get it filmed professionally, and it's going to be like a longer format video. Maybe it's something you share on YouTube or something like that. Well, you can put that longer video into this Opus Clip, and it will, in like 20 minutes, break up and re-edit that one long clip into like 10 to 20 small what they say viral reels. I don't know if they're really viral, but basically the beauty of this software is that you can take one long clip, it chops it up, it edits it, it creates the transitions, it packages it pretty well to where like the video actually makes sense when you're watching it. I was pretty impressed with its ability to kind of pull out different pieces of a longer format video, restitch it together in a way that makes sense and would be like something that I would actually post. So if you do have longer format videos, this is a great way to create a lot of content from one longer format piece. I don't usually use auto reel, but I put it on here because I know a lot of people do use it. This can convert your listing photos into video walkthroughs using AI. You do have to pay for that as well if you're going to do more than, I think, 2 videos per month. I use CapCut and Captions a lot. CapCut is great kind of for everything, an all-around editing app. You can add captions, you can add animated styles. A lot of my team uses it because when we do have clients who do talking head videos, what we've noticed happens a lot of the time, you guys don't look directly into the camera because you're trying to read your teleprompter. And so we can auto-correct that with CapCut. So if your eyes are wandering around and they're not looking at it doesn't look like you're looking at your audience, we will use AI to fix that. We also will use it to create AI generated music. So you can put in like, I'm looking for an upbeat, luxury kind of sound to go with my listing video, and it'll AI create music that you could include in your video. So we use it for that as well. As well as just like they have good transitions and different animated styles that you can add to your video. Captions, we use a lot for adding captions to our videos because that's probably the easiest app that I've found for adding captions. It gets it. There's usually no mistakes. There's a lot of stylistic choices that you can include in your videos if you want to make them look more brand specific. So we love captions. And then of course we use Gemini, ChatGPT more so for creating hooks, doing research, writing scripts, basically creating the content and the captions to go with the reels, and then also to kind of test drive some ideas as far as like we've talked about creating videos that will actually do well on social. We use chat to kind of come up with those ideas and do that back end research so that our videos have a better impact. And then you can also, if you're someone that does a lot of ums and has just a lot of like filler words in your videos, you can use Descript, CapCut, even Loom, to be honest, to remove a lot of these filler words if that's something that bothers you in your videos. I know when people get nervous, they can say or like a lot, which this will automatically remove them and just kind of makes your video a little bit smoother. Okay, so if you take anything away from this presentation, it's just, it's the same message that we always have, both Heather and I, is that consistency is better than perfection. So, when you're starting with video, I get emails all the time from clients where they're like, I hate how I look, I hate how I sound, I don't like how this came out. And I always encourage them to keep showing up because that's the only way to get better. And if you pop in and do one video 1 month and then I don't hear from you for 6 months, you're really never gaining that traction with your video. And the only way that my team can be consistent with video is by batching our content. And so I would definitely encourage all of you to consider batching your reels and batching your video content in order to ensure that you can be consistent. So when I have a client that we work with, like my client here in Prescott, we have once a month on the calendar a film date. We show up at a location. A lot of times it's like a model home or something where it's like everything looks great. We have lots of different sort of areas, nooks and crannies that we can kind of film in that look different. And so we bring a couple different outfit changes and we try to utilize one location for as many clips as possible. And a lot of this is B-roll. Some of it's the talking head videos. But essentially, we're filming in the dining room, we're filming in the living room, we're filming in the kitchen, we're filming in the bedroom, we're going outside. And so we're really maximizing. In 1 hour, I can get content that will last me for the next month. And so I think that that's really important. If you are going to embrace video and try to share videos on a regular basis, you have to find a workflow that's going to make it easier. So another thing you can do to help batch create is by creating templates. So at Be Epic, we give you a lot of these templates, but like having thumbnail image templates that you can just kind of repurpose and put new text over, but you kind of like the style and it's aligned with your brand. Also identifying sort of a caption style and then using ChatGPT. I just have like a thread on ChatGPT where I have like certain different captions, and then I say, okay, create another caption similar to this with the same, realtor information, add some additional hashtags, but make it aligned to this video or to this script. And so creating and utilizing and just leaning into some of these tools to make it a little bit easier. Also, if you are someone who can go out and get a lot of B-roll, that can help a lot. So we try to get a ton of B-roll, and then we use that to fill in and create, I probably would say that for most of my clients, we try to do, and we'll talk about the frequency, but we try to do like 3 reels a week, which might seem like a lot, but it's not that difficult because we get so much B-roll that I can just pull from that and create like 10 different reels in a couple hours and it's done. And then also utilizing scripts to film more videos with less mistakes and less editing time. So if you feel like, I know one of you, I can't remember which one of you said, oh, I feel like I'm filming a video 1,000 times, it's taking forever, and all I get from it is one 20-second video. Well, if you can take some time to write out a script that does actually sound like you and not a robot, and you can just read through that and do it in a way that feels, smooth. I know some people read a script and it's a little bit robotic, but if you can kind of get past that and read through it in a way that sounds like you, utilizing scripts can be a great way to cut down on your film time and then also your editing time, because it sucks when you have to stitch together like 5 different 2-second blurbs versus like just getting one clean take. And then, so this is a question I wanted to address because I've gotten asked this a bunch of times, which is, does scheduling hurt my engagement? So we're talking about batch creating, and scheduling is a part of the batch creation process. So Instagram has actually come out and said that scheduling tools do not negatively impact reach, that consistency is more important than the type of tool you're using to schedule. And so I think that if, for me, I'm not going to go in every single day and post at 11 a.m. Like that's just not going to align with my lifestyle right now. I have 3 little kids. I'm busy. I'm running 2 businesses. I have a feeling it probably doesn't align with your schedule either. So that's where we really do need to lean into some sort of scheduling tool. You can schedule natively through Instagram, or you can use a tool like Social Pilot, which is the one that we use at Be Epic and that we really love, to schedule out your Instagram reels as well as push your content out to other platforms as well. And I think the bigger piece that people are missing is it's not necessarily the scheduling that's hurting your engagement. It's that you're not actually doing anything to engage on your profile. So if you're not going in and engaging with people on the platform, then you're never going to see as much engagement as someone who does. And that's just the reality. So take that with a grain of salt. But if you're not going in and liking what other people are doing, commenting on other people's stuff, engaging, then you are going to notice a little bit of a dip, if not a big dip, in your own engagement. But there are things that you can do to improve your engagement beyond just being consistent. So you can include, just letting some more people in. So these are just some things that I recommend that I've noticed when I do include with my video versus just uploading a random video and then, letting it go. I do try to take the time to do these things because I think it helps. So I include, a clear descriptive title on my thumbnail. A lot of times I do text overlay on the video because that's just going to grab someone's attention a little bit more. So like it says right here, using captions or text overlay. I personally prefer text overlay over captions. I think it's more, I don't know, I think I get a better result from that. Also doing some research, spending the time to look on Instagram, what's trending, what hooks are people using that's grabbing attention, that's getting noticed, and kind of putting your own spin on that type of video can be beneficial. So again, if you feel like I'm putting things out there, but it's not really hitting, maybe go into your feed and look and see what is working for other people and how can you put your own unique spin on that specific trending reel. Um, Also, you can record, like I said, in multiple clips, different zoom settings in and out, creating like jump cuts. All of that movement can help hold people's attention on your video, keeping videos relatively short, under a minute if you're doing like a talking head video. If most of my reels where it's B-roll, I really try to keep them, 7 to 10 seconds is really kind of a sweet spot. You can also, again, include your point of view. So, I see a lot of people doing videos where they're going into chat, they're creating a script, and they're sharing, a how-to or an educational content. But the part that's missing a lot of the times is their own perspective. And, anyone can go online and Google the answer to a question. I think what people are really craving is what is your unique, insight on that specific problem or myth, kind of like what we were talking about earlier. So if you can include your own experience, your insight, that's what's going to make it more interesting to people. And then always mix in trending audio with your videos if you're going to do like the B-roll style stuff. That can really help. And then you can go into Instagram's setting under your followers. If you click on your followers and you scroll down, it'll tell you the most active times that people are online. So I don't think you need to spend a ton of time obsessing about this, but like obviously if you notice there's clear patterns where more people are active on your platforms, that would be a good indication to post during that time. And a lot of people assume that they should be posting at 10 a.m. or 11 a.m., which are typically generally good times to post. But what I've noticed is when I post later in the afternoon, a lot of times I get better results. That 3 to 6 p.m. window does really well for me and my clients. So again, look at your insights. All this information is here available to you, and then utilize these tools to get more engagement from your videos. Okay, so this is a client that I just wanted to share like some results. I was working with this client. We had just started, I think like a month or two prior to me taking this screenshot. We've grown her following a lot since then, but the only thing we really changed on her social media when we got started was adding more videos, adding more reels. And you can see that the results very quickly kind of took off. And so yeah, and the frequency with her, like I mentioned, was I think it was we were doing like 3 reels a week. So we don't post reels every single day, but I know that probably feels very overwhelming for a lot of you. But I'm going to give you some resources and tools to hopefully make it a little bit easier. We're getting into that. We're almost coming to the end. But I did want to touch on camera shyness real quick because I do know that I get a lot of questions and concerns from a lot of my clients, especially my female clients, about how they just don't like how they look, sound, whatever on camera. They just feel very insecure about embracing video. So I really want you guys to try to shift your mindset, to stop aiming for perfection and really focusing more on relatable content than overly produced content. A lot of people ask me if they should only put out professionally filmed videos. And I do think that that is a brand decision, a brand specific decision. But I will say that the more relatable kind of in the moment videos that I do tend to get better results than the produced videos that we put together and share. So I think that you don't have to be someone who invests in having all your videos professionally filmed. I also think that, trying to talk to one person in your videos and trying to speak like you're speaking to a friend can also really help. And then, we already talked about teleprompter apps, using those to be just make things flow better and give yourself a little bit more confidence. And then also if you're someone who's like, nope, I can't get over it, I can't do it right now, I always say start with voiceovers. So if you're nervous about filming, utilize your B-roll video footage. You can create a nice reel with that. Then you can do a voiceover separately, and then you can add that voiceover in Instagram or some of these different apps we talked about to your B-roll footage to create a video that's from you, that has your voice and your presence in it, but is not you just staring at a camera talking, if that feels overwhelming. So 90-day content plan. So I did put together for you guys a 90-day reel plan. If you are someone who wants to get started and feels like you don't know what you should be saying, what you should be doing, I've done some research on like trending reels and put together an outline that kind of follows this schedule. So basically, it's like Monday is some sort of educational piece, Wednesdays, your neighborhood feature, and then Fridays are trending B-roll or a featured listing. So your goal would be 3 reels per week. Again, I know that sounds like a lot. Hopefully, this outline, I'll see if I can, I actually don't know if I have it pulled up. At the end, I'll pull it up and I'll kind of show you what it looks like. But it's nothing fancy, but essentially, it's just a Google Doc where I've like outlined each topic, what you could be doing as far as your B-roll, what you should be doing for a text overlay to get more engagement. So text overlay, we're talking about like these kinds of things here. The text you're actually laying on top of your video to hopefully help you guys start to create more reels. Even if you don't commit to the 3 a week, which again, I know can be overwhelming, I wanted to give you something that I thought would actually work and have an impact in your business and not just like a watered down version of it. So if you are someone who is not a Be Epic client yet, we do provide you with some video components. It's not as aggressive of a plan as what I just talked about, but if you are someone who needs a fuller marketing package, you need the social media, you need the newsletter, you need the website component, you want to do direct mail cards and email and all this stuff, I would recommend checking out Be Epic because we do provide you with like I said, a video component. We give you 2 scripts a month. We edit and publish your scripts for you. So we pay for these editing apps and publishing apps, and we package them for you. We also create the thumbnail designs, make them look super polished and professional so that you don't have to do that. So video is a component. We obviously offer a lot more, but if you are looking for more of a full service marketing package, feel free to reach out to us and we would love to have a conversation with you about how you can elevate your marketing. But for this call, I really wanted to educate you guys more specifically on reels and things you can do to improve your content. So I'd love to now the last 10 minutes throw to any questions that you guys have and yeah, just get your feedback on all this. So feel free to come off mute now. Hopefully that was helpful. Did we learn anything? Let me know. Did you guys know all this already? You're all still muted. Super helpful. Thanks. Any questions? Copy of the recording. Yes, I can send that to you, Donna. Sorry, I'm just going back into your comments. Darling picture of Hannah. So I put that picture on there, Kelly, because it was talking about camera shyness. And I don't know how much you know about Hannah, but she is not one to be in front of the camera. She is my behind the scenes girl. And so I just loved that picture of her because we did a photo shoot. And I felt like she looked so confident in that picture and such like a boss babe. And I feel like that's so like she doesn't always present in that way. So I just thought it was a good representation of how you can show up on camera and still look to be very confident, even if behind the scenes you were kind of struggling with that.
I have a question for you, Kat. Thank you for this. This is so great. Do you have like a photo shoot list of poses or anything that you can share?
Yeah, so for like video or for photos?
Well, both.
Okay,
You know,
so
like
like B-roll.
yeah, just pseudo candid, things to layer text over, or then the photo shoots to put in maybe a carousel or something. I know this is specifically on Reels, but if you have any kind of photo shoot pose sheet that's working well,
Yes.
I would love to have that cheat sheet. That's where I fall down is I don't know. I mean, I don't know what to do.
I know a lot of people feel the same way, and it does help when you can go with like, so I did mention, so this is kind of what I put together for you guys, and I can add to this because I had to throw it together kind of quick and dirty, so it's not like the most visually appealing document that you'll ever see in your life. But essentially, it's a 90-day plan. So we've got Mondays, 4 weeks. This is month 1. This is month 2. This is month 3. And so we've got like your educational videos, your neighborhood guy, your trending B-roll, and then these are samples of each. So you can click into these and it'll show you. I'm just gonna go. Like it'll show you an example of the type of reel that I think you can create. So hopefully that will help with like some of the B-roll, like because it'll actually show you like, okay, you need a video of you like walking across the house and whatnot. But I can also put together something that's like, if you are wanting to just do like a B-roll filming day and you want to capture a bunch of content, like these are the different things I would do. And I would recommend like trying to go to like a model home if you can or something, because then it's already staged. It looks gorgeous. It has, pick one that has the aesthetic that you're kind of going for. And then you can get all this done in literally 2 hours if you have someone there helping you just film you. So it doesn't need to be like an all day thing. And then you have content you can use for months. Like I feel like Kim, you should do that because you took such great photos. We have so many great pictures of you. I always talk about you as a great example of like someone who has like a library of like 400 pictures of you like setting something down on a table. Like you have like the detailed shots. You've got like in front of the house, you've got shots with your sign, you've got shots on the couch, you've got some that look more kind of casual, some that look a little bit more polished. So I think just as far as like your marketing, I really think it's helpful that we have all of those images to pull from. And I think if we did that for video, you would be doing great.
Kat, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, good. So I wanted to ask a question, because I really haven't put together any reels myself. Is it just easy enough where would you recommend that I go to learn how to do all those pieces? Adding all those things and doing them in Instagram or where?
Okay, so you're talking about like actually knowing how to like go in the app, add the text overlay, like that kind of thing.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm sure there are trainings on that. I mean, I've just learned from going in and playing around with the Instagram app. If you're not someone who has a lot of experience with, so what I do, which I think is the easiest, is I go on Instagram when I'm sitting in bed with a glass of wine and I'm bored, and I probably should be doing other things, but I'm on Instagram and I'm kind of looking for ideas. So the algorithm learns your style and then will start serving you things that are in line with what you're clicking on. So if you go into your Instagram app and you start watching other realtor content, it's going to start serving you more realtor content. So it's going to start serving you a lot of these like trending viral reels or whatever. And I'm not saying you spend a ton of time doing this, but like maybe you spend 10 minutes, every now and again going in and scrolling, and then you find things that you like where you're like, oh, that's cute, or oh, that's clever, or oh, that's interesting. And then you just hit the save button. So there's a little save kind of icon. I click the save button. I save it to a marketing ideas folder in Instagram. And then I just leave it there until I'm ready to actually do some content creation. And then by the time I'm ready to do content creation, I go in and I've got like 20 reels that I've pre-saved from the times that I've been scrolling. And then what I do is I just look at what they did. What text did they use? What caption did they write? What audio did they use? Maybe I'll save the audio. If I like the audio, you can also hit the little save button on the audio and it'll save a copy of it. So when you're creating your reel, it'll automatically pull that up. But as far as like editing, I would just stick within the Instagram app because I think it's going to be too overwhelming to try to edit using like CapCut and captions and like all these other things. Like I would just try to literally recreate the reel in your own voice and style that you liked and kind of just copy it, to be honest, because I think that's how you learn. Like I think you learn by looking at how they filmed something. Okay, now I'm going to try to film it like that. Okay, this is the text overlay they used. Now I'm going to literally upload the video, click the plus sign when you're in Instagram, upload the reel, and then play around with some of the editing tools. I think part of it is just you're going to have to get in and play around with it versus I would do that before I would pay for some Instagram training. I just feel like, I mean, do you really have time to sit through a training program or maybe just spend 10 minutes trying to put together a reel that you like. And the more you kind of play around with it, the easier it will get. But I'm sure there are programs out there. Also YouTube. Like, I mean, if I really don't know the answer to something, then I'll go on YouTube and I'll be like, watch a 5-minute tutorial on how to do something. But I don't know. That's what I would do versus sign myself up for another program that I don't really have time to do.
Kat, do you have any recommendations on how to find, interview, and hire local videographers for ourselves?
Yeah, so I mean, what I normally do is I follow the realtors in my different marketplaces, and if I like the videos that they're doing, you can DM them and contact them and ask. They're usually happy to share. Or, a lot of times they'll tag the film crew that did it. I would probably start there. Just really asking around referrals from other agents. Most agents are doing some video marketing, especially for their listings. So, and also I have noticed that like in our marketplace, um, some of the agents that, you kind of get that out of the box package where it's like, oh, we're going to do the listing photos and then we'll put together this little reel for you. And like, but that's all you kind of get. But a lot of those companies will also do, if you inquire about it, will do like other types of videos. So if you find somebody that you're doing like listing marketing with and you like the style and you have how their videos come out, you can also inquire about like if they do other different types of styles of videos. But I would probably ask around other agents that you like the marketing that they're doing. And I think, like I said, most people are pretty good about sharing, but it's hard to just Google videographers in, it looks like you're in Austin, Texas, and I'm sure there's like a million options that come up. So I would really go to the agents. I don't know if you're on a team or in a brokerage where there's other agents that you can kind of bounce ideas off of, but I would start there. Any other questions? Let's see. Which social media platform is the most beneficial? And we should concentrate on the most for real estate. I mean, that's a hard question. I don't feel like you should just pick one. But I would say probably if I was an agent and I was limited on time, I would probably focus more heavily on Instagram and YouTube. I don't know. Unless you're working with really young buyers, I don't know that most people are on TikTok. Facebook is good for some things, but it's so hard. It's such a hard profile to participate in. We've had conversations about this, me and Kim. If you're utilizing your personal account, you're probably going to get a lot more engagement, but then you can't schedule anything, and then everything has to be in the moment, and it's just feels like a time suck. And then if you have a business page, which I usually recommend, you just feel like the engagement is so low there. So for those reasons, I'd probably stick more with Instagram and YouTube because I think with YouTube, you're going to get a lot more organic exposure. And there's like a longer shelf life when it comes to the videos that you're creating. And then with Instagram, even though it still is a very saturated place, I still think there's opportunities there to get more engagement and to lean into video. I get a little cautious about directly copying reels. Is it okay that you do that? I think it's fine. I don't think it's bad form. We're all doing it. And you're still putting your face and you can still mix it up slightly and share your point of view. Everybody, like, it's almost funny because, like, it's the reason why, like, people start copying each other and then the trend goes viral and then all of our videos start to, like, get more views. So I don't think it's a bad thing. I think that, there's always, I don't think any of us here are going to be like this groundbreaking influencer, and that's really our main focus. I think the focus is, can we create content that stands out, that elevates our brand, that, people start to recognize us and engage with us more and reach out to us more, and that keeps us top of mind with our clients. And I think if you're leaning into some of these fun, creative trends, that's fine. Your clients will see that and they'll be like, oh, this is a different side of her personality that I don't normally see. Or, oh, like, she's so creative in her marketing. And also your clients are probably not spending all day watching real estate reels. So what you may have seen all over the place because you follow other realtors, they're probably not following a bunch of other realtors. LinkedIn is the place to be in 2026. I mean, I don't know, maybe Kim. I think for connecting with B2B and other realtors and things like that, possibly. I've also heard a lot of people talking about what's the other one, like, was it like Substack? A lot of people are going there. I think it depends on the type of content you want to create. And if you're someone who wants to get more into like blogging and longer format content, like things like that, like maybe check out Substack. I think you can do stuff on LinkedIn. If you've got a good presence there. But again, it's all comes down to like, are you going to go on in LinkedIn and engage with people and send people messages and really start to build out that platform? If you have the time for that and you're going to do that, then I think you could be successful there. Okay, cool. Well, I think we got everything. Thank you guys for being here. Hopefully you learned something. And if you have any additional follow-up questions, let me know. If you're looking for marketing support, please reach out. And you're not a client already, please reach out to us. We'd love to work with you. And we will send out the replay, and I'll send out that reel outline for 90 days if you guys want to start trying to tap into some of these trending reels. I have links on there, Kim, to several of them, so you can kind of look at the ones I sent you and try to recreate some of them, and you know, reach out if you get stuck. And then I'll work, Kelly, I don't know if she's still on here, but I'll work on putting together a real kind of shot list. I'm just got to think through the best way to do that. Like you might, like if I should do like examples or just tell you like reel of you karate chopping a pillow. Like, I don't know. I'll have to come up with what that looks like. But thank you guys for sticking around and enjoy the rest of your day.